Oh, wow, no. Whoa, that was rough.
I'm putting this in before. This is going to be cut before the theme starts. Well, go ahead. Straight out of Gotham, a crazy podcast about DC, with your host E-Rock and PD. When we speak up, get your geeks up, cause you know you about to get geeked up. So sit back, relax, and get comfy. Lose your mind like Solomon Grundy, and listen to a show that won't be forgotten. Coming straight out of Gotham.
And hello, everybody out in Gotham City. Welcome to another episode of Straight Outta Gotham, episode 92. We are a fandom pop culture podcast and a proud member of the Batman Podcast Network, hosted by Batman on Film. Make sure you check out all the other great shows on the network by heading on over to BOF, clicking the podcast drop down, and checking out all the other fantastic shows from all these other great co-hosts and creators. I'm your co-host from the other side of the Hudson River, a senior contributor to Batman on Film. I'm Peter R. Vera, and today we're recording on October 1st, 2022. So now it is the appropriate time to do all your Halloween shit, you weird people. September's not the time. And as always, we have a great show for you today. But before I'd like to get into the good stuff, I'd like to remind you all, our faithful listeners, if you take the time to rate and review the show on iTunes and Apple Podcasts, and we read your review on air, and you just won a Straight Outta Gotham prize pack, so make sure you do that. You got to be in it to win it. We do it every month, so please enter that contest. Now comes the best part of the show, the time where I introduce the one, the only, the man who won the 1972 Sheep's Head Bay Baby Ruth chocolate bar eating contest with a whopping 295 bars in 10 minutes. Ladies and gentlemen, a Batman on Film junior contributor, Eric Holzman.
Baby Ruth?
There he is.
What movie? Quick. Everyone should know what movie that's from. Oh, and if you don't, you're very young, or you just have lived a very sheltered life.
I think I'm going to lean to the young side.
Goonies. You never saw Goonies?
I have seen Goonies.
There you go. That's what Sloth says. Because Chunk comes to bring the big, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, Baby Ruth. I actually do love those candies. I'm not gonna lie. They're kind of, it's kind of the one. Older. Yeah, they're considered like the old style candies. That $1,000, the $100,000 gram.
Do you think they're old?
What do
you mean?
Well, like, I feel like they're not like Snickers, Milky Way. That's kind of like the more, but I guess they're kind of around the same age. But the people kind of geared to, most people eat those before they would eat like a Baby Ruth or a.
Really, I have a hard time picking, like a candy bar at like the register of like, Quick Check or Wawa. It's like, oh man, they're all good.
Well, yeah, I mean, they're all fantastic.
Target. Like, I like Skor bars. You ever have a Skor bar?
Yes.
That's one of my favorites.
Has the toffee in the middle.
Yeah, that's a good one.
That's good stuff. Heath is another one.
Heath Bars good. It's very similar, yeah.
Yeah. Whatchamacallits, I used to love those.
I was never a big fan of those, but they are good. I don't think there's such thing as bad chocolate. Is there bad chocolate?
No, maybe chocolate that has some kind of weird filling in it. That could be, but like I know one thing I'm not a fan of. I know a lot of people are the Cadbury Creme eggs.
They're good. Sometimes Easter in moderation.
I'm not a huge fan, but I always thought they looked disgusting, and then I finally tried one. I'm like, yeah, these suck.
Okay. Yeah.
So, and a lot of people don't like dark chocolate. I do. I like dark chocolate, but a lot of people
dark chocolate is really good. I actually prefer it.
Yep. Well, I bought this recently.
Hershey's dark with almonds, so good.
Those are good, but I bought I think it was Ghirardelli. They had like the 92% cocoa. Like it's got like no sugar. That's a rough thing to eat. I'll say that.
Really? Okay.
That'd probably be good to melt down and put on like fruit or something, because you get the sweetness from the fruit and the chocolate mix. That's probably good, but on its own, just eating that high percentage of cocoa is very, very tough. It's very bitter. So
interesting.
Yes, we're talking about chocolate, guys.
It's October. We're going to be eating a lot of it.
Yes, it is October.
And like I said, now is the appropriate time to start doing Halloween stuff, you weirdos. you're almost as strange as the people who do like Christmas in November. You know, I just like.
Well, no, because after Thanksgiving, people say it's okay for like traditionally that was the start of Christmas season.
I know, yeah, maybe like the 26th, the evening
Now
of.
it's like before Halloween, like middle of October, we'll start seeing Christmas stuff put out, which is crazy. But yeah, you're right. It's Halloween season officially now. It's October 1st. It's been Halloween season for Showtime. I don't know if you guys have Showtime, but they've been showing a lot of scary movies.
Okay.
They've had the Scream. They've been showing all the Scream movies.
Okay.
At least through the first 4. Because last night I watched all 3 Screams. The first 3 Screams.
How'd they hold up for you?
I like 3 better than I did when I saw it the first time.
I like 3 more than 2, and everyone calls me crazy. We'll get into this because we're gonna do a Scream show, but
yeah, we are gonna do a Scream. But yeah, that's I realized I liked it better than when I first saw it. But yeah, and watching all 3 of them together is cool. Like you get the continuing story just sitting there, not having to wait, spending time between it, and it's kind of cool. It works. Like I always do that sometimes with a trilogy to say, okay, does this really work as a 3-story block? Because sometimes they go weird directions. But no, that series did work when originally it was scheduled.
Have you tried doing that with the Dark Knight trilogy?
I've done that. I did that the night that I saw Rises because I did the AMC thing where you see Begins, The Dark Knight, and then at midnight they showed Rises. I did that. That was fun. Just really like I was exhausted.
That sounds like fun. I love Rises.
So it was fun.
Yeah.
That hasn't aged as well for me. Like I liked it more when I first saw it than
you have no taste.
Do now. But no, look, as much as I pick on that film, I still enjoy it.
Oh, it's just
great. It's just the weakest of the 3 films for me. That's
it's got a lot more emotional depth.
That's it. So, I mean, this is a show in itself. We could talk about.
If I'm having a Rises show, I'm getting us on here.
We could do that show, on its own.
I'd love to have a Rises show, just all about Rises.
Yeah, it would be fun. It would be a fun one to do. But I feel like we've just dissected it so much off air that it would just be a bunch of rehashed stuff that we've already been through.
It sounds like every other conversation we've had.
Yeah, it's true. Very good point. We have a lot of. They always pop up, and then the process starts over.
It always comes back to Zack Snyder's Justice League.
Nothing will ever top the Back to the Future Twitter conversation. That still to this day it went on for days.
Really?
Literally days.
I don't remember this.
So yes, it was fun.
It has to be like a you and Haas thing.
Yes, you brought up Haas. That's why me, Haas, and Todd McClellan, and a couple of other people were involved. I think Rick was even involved in it.
You guys really like Back to the Future that much?
But I love Back to the Future.
Really?
At least I like the first 2. The third one again.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of the third one.
So, but all right. So, guys, as always, we have a great show planned for you today, and we're gonna start right away. Kick it off with the news of the week, which I thought was the news of the week, which is something that has been teased repeatedly, something I think most people have wanted for years. We're getting
Zack Snyder's Justice League 2. It's finally happening. We're breaking the story.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we're getting Zack Snyder's Justice League 2, but it's not. It's with the younger version of the characters. So it's Superboy, Wonder Girl. We're getting all the younger. That's what it is. That's what we're getting. There you go. We broke it here. It's all. It's all. That's what's gonna. No. I'm of course talking about the news of the week. It was broken by Ryan Reynolds on his Twitter that Hugh Jackman will be returning as Wolverine in Deadpool 3. I was super excited when I heard this. This is really, really cool. They have always, as just actors, they've always kind of hinted at this happening. There's been jokes about it in the past. We saw at the end of Deadpool 2 when Ryan Reynolds goes back to Wolverine's Origins Wolverine and kills that version of Deadpool. You see him there, and that so it's been this really cool thing between the two, and now it's finally happening. And how he did it was fantastic. And then the follow up to it the next day, where they try to explain the continuity
the continuity things. They're like, oh, Logan happened in the future, so that was 2029, so technically he's still alive. And then they start to explain it, and then Wake Me Up Before You Go comes on, and you can't hear anything they're saying about what's gonna go on in the actual movie. So it was awesome. Pete, what did you think? How do you feel?
I'm excited for this. I really am because it's Hugh Jackman. Like, who can not be excited for this? I just like, I'm kind of getting to the point where I'm over these like legacies. Like, this might be the last hurrah, though. You know, like this might be the last time I'm like, all right, this is cool. Let's do this. Like, you know, and like I know Daddy Bats wants to be like, yeah, because Keaton's not coming back. And I'm like, yeah, that's a little different. Like 30 years compared to like the 6 or 7 that Hugh's been gone, in my opinion. But yeah, like I'm kind of like, I don't know if this is like just the phase of what the MCU is at this point. Like if it seems like they're relying on someone else's creativity from years past to kind of fuel their own, or you know, it's just weird. Like I don't know. Like I wish they would just make up more. I think the whole Black Panther Wakanda Forever thing is more creative than kind of what they're doing right now, in my opinion. You know, because it's, you know, they're just bringing back older characters from other franchises, and I just feel like at least that's kind of somewhat new. You know, they have to go in a different direction, and they're introducing them more. But this overall, it's good news. I mean, I'm sure the movie's going to be hysterical. I'm sure it's going to be great. I don't really care what time frame it takes place. Like, as far as I know, like this is a totally different Wolverine and Deadpool, right?
Could be, yeah.
I'm sure, but like Deadpool will acknowledge that he breaks the fourth wall, so on and so forth. So like, you know, he'll be Deadpool will be Deadpool, and I mean, who knows? Will Wolverine just not know where he is? Is Hugh Jackman, you know, have fun? I don't know. Did Hugh Jackman recently buy like a gigantic house that he needs to start paying off? Maybe this is, you know, like Michael Keaton always talks about how he, you know, he should have taken the Batman Forever job to pay for his ranch. Like, you know, like,
well, I know he just finished the run on Broadway. Hugh Jackman literally just, the show he was in just ended.
Okay.
So maybe he just has the time to do it now. Who knows? He might have wanted to do it before and just couldn't fit it in his schedule. I agree with you in a way. You're right. A lot of this stuff is getting it was fun in the beginning, but you're kind of getting to the point now you're like, yeah, okay, we don't need to do this all the time. But not with this character. This character, because of the history between the two and how much fun they've had playing it, that's more the reason why I'm looking forward to it than it's just Wolverine coming back. It's Hugh Jackman playing him coming back in a Ryan Reynolds movie. That's the reason why I'm looking forward to it. And yeah,
did you know that Jackman was actually somebody's replacement? I think, if I'm not mistaken, the guy who plays Jacob Kane in Batwoman was originally cast as Wolverine.
Yeah, Dougray Scott was originally cast.
And somehow he had to back out, and then Jackman just filled the role. That's why Jackman isn't jacked. It's the only, I think X-Men 1's the only movie he's in where he's not like totally jacked up.
No, yeah, you're right. It's the only one where he's kind of just a normal dude. Okay. Which, I mean, if you think about it, people have always said this about Superman too. Like, why do they need to be muscular? If they, you know, they're super, like, he can't die. So what does it matter?
Yeah, that's why like Christopher Reeves looks really good as Superman, even though he's got some muscle on him. He looks kind of thin, but for Wolverine, I think it makes sense. Like, I imagine Wolverine does work out. Just because he can heal doesn't mean he shouldn't be fit, right?
Yeah. And I guess you can go
like traditionally, like Hugh Jackman wouldn't be Wolverine. Like Wolverine is like 4'2". Like,
yeah,
he's a tiny dude.
Yeah, you're right.
But whatever, it's Hollywood. Yep.
I mean, that also was kind of in the article about the original height. Roy Thomas spoke about it and said he's a lot taller than the the short mutant he envisioned. So
I wonder. Are we going to see the trademark stogie? Because Jackman's Wolverine was always smoking stogies, bro.
I know. He does one. I think in every movie he has one.
And we're going to see what Disney will, this is a test for Disney.
Oh, no. If they're going to let Deadpool be Deadpool, then I think that's a small thing that they're going to.
Well, we're going to find out how much Deadpool they're going to let be Deadpool. This is a big test for them. It just is.
I agree.
Especially going to be under the Marvel banner, which is essentially, this isn't them like putting something under 20th Century Productions and, it's showing some side boob. Like this will be a big deal for them if they have Wolverine smoking in their Deadpool movie. Like,
yeah, how will they do Mystique in the future if they do Mystique again? How are they going to dress the actress up?
I don't know. I don't
Right?
know.
Like,
These are questions that you just have when it's just funny because they're like, oh, Marvel could do this. Like, well, no, Disney.
you're right. I mean,
Disney.
you're right. It is a Disney production now, so it's a fair question.
Which
I
makes
like
me say, like, I don't know, is this going to lean more towards the TV edit they created? What was it called? Once Upon a Time.
Once Upon a Deadpool. No,
that was bad, man. They made that movie bad when they did that. In my opinion,
I don't think he would agree to do it. He would have agreed to continue playing.
He agreed to make Once Upon a Time in Deadpool, though.
He didn't make it. They just edited out the bad stuff.
Yeah, but like I'm sure he had to agree with it. Like, isn't he like a producer on this at this point?
Well, it was after the original one came out. They didn't do it, so like it doesn't matter at that point. He's just kind of like, yeah, go ahead, do what you want. The first one came out, everyone saw it.
All right.
So I don't think he would agree to continue playing the character if they're going to fundamentally change what he can do in the story.
Right.
That's what
I mean. We don't know. We'll see. Like, who knows? Maybe he doesn't know what he's getting into. He is in Reynolds. You have no idea. He's working with new people now.
Well, it's the same writer.
No, I meant like not like people within like
you mean
he's hiring to do production. I'm talking, like the studio people. He's dealing with a different studio now. You don't know,
Well, if we hear about production,
Warner Brothers wouldn't let Farrell smoke in the Batman, and the Batman is not even anywhere near aimed at children.
Well, maybe if we hear
it's a society thing almost at this point. Like smoking is so looked down upon. Like you look at people now and you like smoke, like you get a real like cringe face. Usually like it's like because so many people don't smoke anymore.
I just don't like it in enclosed spaces. Anywhere else, I'm fine. You can smoke all you want. Just let's not be in a room together.
I personally, it doesn't bother me because I love the smell of a burning cigarette. Like I just like that smell. It's almost like incense for me. And then I love vapors too because then it smells like fruity. My buddy told me he was vaping. It always smells like fruity pebbles everywhere. I used to vape back in the day, man. I used to puff clouds. Oh man, it was all about sugar and nicotine.
See, guys, pulling back the curtain again. Once again, we're pulling back the curtain here.
Dude, I loved vaping back in the day. Oh God, I love vaping.
Yeah, I never did. A couple of my friends did it. It was the thing for a little while.
It was so much fun.
I remember it. Oh well.
Oh.
Not for me. I smoke a cigar every once in a while. That's about it. That's my thing. That's just my extent of my smoking is cigars.
I hope Wolverine smokes a cigar.
Yeah, me too. I hope he does. And I hope
because you want to know why? Because this is a test. Because the ever-loving blue-eyed thing needs to smoke his cigar. And that's the only cigar that really matters to me in the MCU. So if I see Wolverine smoke a cigar, then I know they're going to do the thing right and allow him to smoke his stogie.
That's true. That's a good point.
So, this is a test because if I don't see Wolverine with a cigar, I cannot believe we've made an entire segment of Wolverine's cigar. What's
this we stuff? This is all you.
If I do not see Wolverine's cigar in this movie, I'm going to be really disappointed because I'm not going to see the Thing smoke a cigar in his. They're not going to get the Fantastic Four right unless the Wolverine smokes his cigar. I'm not joking about this. This is serious stuff. You all should be worried about the cigar.
No, I'm not worried.
You should be worried.
It would be cool. No, it's true to the character, so I would like to see it.
The cigar means more than that yellow suit.
Yeah, I don't agree with that one.
I do because he looks damn good in jeans and a leather jacket.
No, I mean that's the version of the character I'm used to now, his version. So that's fine. But I think it would be cool if they did that. If they threw
as long as he's got the chops and the hair
in there.
Yeah.
So, all right, well, I can't even talk. It's the new for blah, blah. I'm really having a hard time speaking this morning.
Just think about the cigar.
The film has a new release date, September 6th, 2024. So it's about 2 years from now, we will be getting Deadpool 3. Maybe they'll have a cameo of Taylor Kitsch's Gambit as well. No, I'm kidding.
Dude, how great would what's his name? Who is the guy who's always teased for Gambit?
Channing Tatum.
Yeah, they should have like Channing Tatum just in a post-credit scene just to piss everybody off.
That's something that he would do. So that would actually be a perfect way to put him in there.
I feel to be honest, I feel like if this was still a Fox thing, that's more likely to happen. Just because they don't care if it would have got made or not. But Disney's like, no, we can't do that. We have plans for Gambit.
Channing Tatum actually just did something similar in Bullet Train.
Okay.
If no one has seen, I'm sorry, I just spoiled it for everybody. But he's in Bullet Train, so you guys could see it if you get a chance to see the movie. It was very good, surprisingly a very good film. I wasn't expecting
It
to
looked
be
like it
good,
was
so
fun.
It was.
I
good.
want to see it.
So give it a watch, guys, because
Just too busy watching Dahmer lately.
Yeah, we will talk about Dahmer in this show, maybe in the future when I finish watching it. So. One thing we do have to talk about, though, because it's coming literally next month, actually 6 weeks from now is the release date for Black Panther 2. And Kevin Feige recently talked about why they chose not to recast T'Challa, because this has been a big deal for me and you. We've talked about it before many times.
Mm-hmm.
And this is what he said in an interview with Empire Magazine. He said, it just felt like it was much too soon to recast. Stan Lee always said that Marvel represents the world outside your window. And we had talked about how, as extraordinary and fantastical as our characters and stories are, there's a relatable and human element to everything we do. The world is still processing the loss of Chad, and Ryan poured that into the story. So that was the quote about why they didn't do it. He continues to say, what were the conversations revolving around the film? And he says the conversations were entirely about, yes, what do we do next? And how could the legacy of Chadwick and what he had done to help Wakanda and the Black Panther become these incredible, aspirational, iconic ideas continue? And that's what the conversations were about. So there you have it, guys. That's why they didn't recast him. I understand it. Again, I understood it from the beginning. It is very soon, and that character, his version of that character was such a powerful character for them. That movie got an Oscar nomination for Best Picture. So I understand all the hubbub around it for the studio. I still believe the character's bigger than an actor in every kind of no matter who it is playing and whatever character it is. Like I said, we've had numerous versions of Batman. We've had a couple versions of Superman. A few versions of Superman. So, but since this was a tragic thing that happened, I understand why they weren't so quick to do it. And I understand the cast probably didn't want to have to deal with it either. Probably would have been tough for them as well. So what do you think?
I don't know, man. I really think they should have just recast the role. I know that his death was tragic and sudden because no one knew about it, but I don't think it's disrespectful at all, to be honest with you. Like, it's a tricky situation to around and they did the politically correct thing, and this way they didn't have to, but it's like they did that so they didn't have to deal with it, So, I don't know. I hear what Feige's saying and I get what he's saying. I just don't agree with it, but we'll see what happens. It seems like for the most part though, the story is the same for the movie. It's just the hero's different. We don't really know who the hero's going to be.
Right.
Like someone's going to emerge as the Black Panther, but it's just not going to be T'Challa. I would have much rather have seen the original version of that film. I hope maybe one day they release the script so we can at least read it.
Yeah, that was interesting
cool
to read that
if they want to do it maybe animated, that'd be fun too.
Yeah. But that was interesting to find out in the article that they had done a whole treatment basically with Boseman.
Yeah.
Like Coogler and Boseman actually spoke about it, and they actually had planned out what the second movie was going to be.
It's pretty. I mean, when you think about it, it's pretty cool. It was Namor versus T'Challa essentially.
Yeah,
like Samariner's the villain,
right? And that's what we're getting. So
yeah. It's just not T'Challa, and it just I don't know.
Right. So we do. There's Empire. There's also an article in Empire that talks about Namor, however you want to say him. That talks about how the differences between this and the actual comic version of the character. So in this, it's not Atlantis. He's the ruler of Talocan because it's a Mexican. He's a Mexican.
Is that basically saying it's Mexican Atlantis?
I guess.
So does that mean it's like part of Mexico?
Yeah, this version of the character. I mean, on Tina Cuerta.
I just don't know where this country is. This underwater country. I've never heard of it before.
Well, yeah, it's kind of like the Aztec Incan kind of deal, I would assume, in Mesoamerica. Which
is this based on a real thing, or is this like a Marvel made up thing?
I'm not sure about.
Okay, all right. So
That
they
I'm
didn't
not
take
sure
like something
about.
that was real. All right, interesting.
No, let's see.
I wonder why they just didn't make him Atlantean.
Oh
Is it
no,
because
it is
Aquaman?
real. It's a real place. I just looked it up.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Is it just because of Aquaman? You think they didn't want to do?
I think that's part of it. I think they're doing it because Aquaman's already out and he's Atlantis, and I think they're just trying to make a differentiation between the two characters. Even though
I don't think you need to do that though.
I agree.
That's stupid stuff. I don't think they need to do. They think they're overthinking that. Like,
but if it works, it works. That's how I look at it.
Since day one, everyone knows that Submariner and Aquaman are the same version character, right?
Yeah,
pretty much. Submariner's just everyone always thought Submariner was cooler because he was a bit more of a jerk, and Aquaman was a golden boy, pretty right. Like Submariner's always been more popular than Aquaman, so like I don't know what they're afraid of.
I think again, it's kind of like Shazam, Captain Marvel, right? Like you have these two characters who basically have the same name, but you don't want to create that confusion, so you just kind of do it so that people don't get confused. I don't think they would, especially the people that they're worried about.
When you go to that, I think the people get confused with the people you tell them that, well, the reason why it's called Shazam is because it was called Captain Marvel, and they're like, wait, what? Because they didn't know to begin with.
That's true. That's fair. That's a fair point.
But for this one, I really do think that everyone knows who Submariner is before Aquaman.
Right, and I think the people who care about that are the comic book people. The general audience isn't going to know anyway, right?
Yeah, everyone. And it's not like Atlantis isn't this over fictionalized underwater city that even some people in real life believe in. So it's like to have Atlantis in your made up fictional world. I don't know. Maybe it's
a real place.
Maybe this is just like one underwater world, and Atlantis is like maybe they're connected. Like you know how like you have Mexico connected to Texas. Maybe it's kind of like that. I don't know.
Well, no, this place is in Mexico, but I guess they're close, but not that close. But no, I mean, I just think like the fact that he's Mexican, it's fine. Like you're doing this. The guy playing him is Mexican.
Namor was like Asian.
I'm the actor playing him. I mean, is Mexican. Oh. So the fact that's it works. So we'll see how it works in the movie. But again, where the only people are going to know about it are people who read the comics. Is like, well, that's not really the place where he's from.
Really, I feel like everyone thinks everyone from underwater comes from Atlantis. To be honest, I just think that's part of just human folklore. Like everyone knows about Atlantis. But that's like saying like, oh, well, the North Pole, we can't put Santa in there. Like, what are you talking about? Like everyone knows he's from the North Pole.
That's fair. There's not many underwater.
Like what else is there? It's Atlantis.
Places
it's like Atlantis, the Bermuda Triangle. Those are like the two biggest like water things that people like claim is real. Claims, you know what I'm saying? Like it's part of our actual lives.
Yeah, that's fair. That's a fair argument.
So it's just weird. Just weird to me.
One of the things the Empire article did bring out, though, which I didn't know, is that Ryan Coogler actually had a pitch for the end credits of Black Panther to be Namor. The camera would push through the palace in Wakanda, and then we'd see wet footprints leading up to the throne, and that was going to introduce the villain, obviously, of Black Panther 2, and that's what would have happened.
What was the end credit for Black Panther?
I don't remember.
Yeah.
That was
I have no clue.
Captain America. I don't remember. That's terrible, but I don't remember.
Well, that's because it probably wasn't any good. Yeah, I think that would have been better than whatever I don't know why they didn't do that.
Yep. I mean, it would have been cool to see. It would have been obvious. I think
they probably didn't have like the Namor design. I don't know, but then you said it seems like it's just wet footprints.
Feet. Yeah, it was just.
You could put wings on anybody's feet. No one cares, except for maybe like those weirdos.
So, it was cool. That was cool. A cool little thing to read, though. But yeah, guys, the Empire article goes a little bit more in depth about Namor and why they used him. He's kind of like the main villain, and it's going to be fun to see this finally come to life on screen in about 6 weeks, November 11th.
Did you buy your tickets already?
They're not up yet.
I thought people bought tickets already.
Black Adam came out yet. The tickets for Black Adam came out, I believe.
Did you buy your tickets for Black Adam yet?
Not yet. No. I looked. I look.
I haven't done that in so long. Like buy tickets so far in advance. It seems like there's more than enough theaters anymore.
Yeah, I mean certain films,
especially post-COVID.
But yeah, that's not this. I don't think Black Adam's going to be a huge.
You're not high on Black Adam.
Huh?
You're not high on Black Adam. You seem kind of down.
That's not true.
You've been kind of
I don't.
disrespecting The Rock's name here.
I don't think other people are high on it. That's what I don't think.
I
I
think peer pressure is
personally
getting to you.
can't wait to see
I know
it.
you're excited to see Fate, but I think that's it.
Well, I mean, no, I've liked the trailers, so I'm down. Each trailer I think has gotten better, and the last one I thought was fantastic. So I'm ready. I'm waiting. It's more kind of a intrigue though than I want to see it. It's definitely.
What are you intrigued about? What's wrong?
Just to see if this thing can come together and see if The Rock can pull it off, because that's really what it comes down to. I mean, this is his movie, like it's basically his film. He had a hand in writing it, creating it, direct. I know he didn't direct it, but I'm sure he had plenty to say on the set. So, to me, that's what I'm intrigued about, and I'm intrigued to see the JSA, how they bring that into the fold, those characters into the fold.
Casey Walsh brought this up on Twitter, and I thought it was interesting. It's like, it almost kind of like demolishes the continuity that was established within the DCEU.
Could.
Because it's like, if the JSA have been around, then like the beginning of Man of Steel, we're like, we're not beginning, but just Man of Steel is like, this is the first of the superhumans to kind of like be exposed. So I thought that was interesting. I wonder how they're going to retcon that,
That's
like,
fair.
But then again, it's like Amanda Waller keeping secrets isn't exactly the craziest thing in the world.
It's not exactly news.
Because we've seen her in the trailer, so she's involved, and whenever she's involved, there's tons and tons of secrets.
Yes, and there's bad stuff going on. That's what her appearance always means.
I'm excited. I can't wait to see. Like, is she in charge of the JSA? Like, I'm just so interested.
There's definitely a relationship there. We know that.
Yeah,
that we know for certain. And after seeing her in Peacemaker too, like we have other points of reference.
I love how she is the one character I like who pops up everywhere.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah. I agree with you. Anytime getting Viola Davis to play her was a stroke of genius. So anytime you get her in a movie, I agree, or a show, it raises the level immediately. So very, very cool.
So thank you, David Ayer.
Yeah, thank you, David Ayer. That's true. Good point. All right, so another character who we think we lost anyway recently in Doctor Strange and Multiverse of Madness. At the end, you kind of see Scarlet Witch pull the tower on herself, and then everyone just assumes she's dead. But not so fast, my friends.
Ooh.
In a recent article, there was a Variety on a Power of Women cover story. Elizabeth Olsen was one of the people that they spoke to, and it goes through the whole history of how she became Scarlet Witch and what exactly happened. She wasn't getting franchise films. She talked to her agent, like, why am I not? And he was like, well, you never do them, so why are you going to get one? Then she got Godzilla, and that's where she met Joss Whedon. And that's how the whole thing took off for her becoming this character. Obviously, we know in Godzilla as well, Aaron Taylor Johnson, who plays Pietro, Quicksilver, also was on the set. So we see how that came to be. And she's become obviously a mainstay now. She was in all the Avengers movies since Age of Ultron. She had her own show, WandaVision, and then we saw her in Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. So she says, because they were talking about, you're going to come back. And she said, well, she never feels any of the characters are really gone. And she'd like to see her have a redemptive arc. And Kevin Feige says anything is possible in the multiverse. We will have to see. There's a lot more to explore with her character. And they're going
to make her a legacy character before she's gone for like 2 years.
Yeah. And they haven't touched on many of her core storylines from the comics, which
she's coming back.
Yes, I think she's coming back, and I think that's the part that people like to hear, because she's a fantastic
Why does she get
character.
To come back, and then I can't have Steve Rogers and Sam Wilson together? Like, why does she get to? Like, it's like
anything is possible in the multiverse. Just remember what he said. So you never know. Who knows what's going to happen in Secret Wars? I'm not saying they're going to bring him back, but that's the storyline.
I totally think Downey's coming back.
So
there's no doubt in my mind he's coming back.
So first of all, I love her character. I love the Scarlet Witch character. So I want her to come back. I'm sure, I don't know how you feel, Pete, but I want her to come back.
I think the character is probably one of the more complex characters within the whole MCU.
Yeah.
She's a cool character. Like, I got nothing against what Olsen did as much as I have problems with, like, just within the show itself. It's not like, it's not that I thought it was like, it's more the writing and the direction they took with WandaVision. I just wish somebody tried to, I don't know, throw a brick at her or something.
You just mad because it was Jersey that she took over a town in New Jersey.
No, I think Westview would be great to live in. I'd love to live there. I hope they make like a Westview somewhere and it creates a tourist attraction and people come. Like,
Wouldn't that be awesome as an amusement park type idea?
I think it would be an amazing idea to do. To
Right?
be honest with you, come to Westview, New Jersey, and make it look like, and then would it be like, that would be amazing. Actually, you could do it like Westworld.
Yeah, you're right.
That would be cool. So yeah, there you go. So whoever comes up with that, just make like Peter's Cafe, and just in my honor, since I came up with the idea. Yeah, she's great, and the way she played the role is great, and just her evolution, like, it's probably one of them, like I said, more interesting stories from start to finish. And I think she got what she's due. So in the end, justice was served, and we'll see what happens in the multiverse. She'll come back. I mean, I'm sure other people are coming back. Everyone, but Uncle Ben comes back. There's no Uncle Ben in the MCU. We're gonna have 3 Spider-Man, 2 Iron Man, 2 Captain America, no Uncle Ben. Which is just funny.
At least not manifested in physical form.
Yeah. At this point, Aunt May's death is Uncle Ben's death.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
But yeah, like it's interesting because it's like she didn't do this stuff, and then she gets this one role, and she becomes this. It really changed her whole life. Like, it made her a bigger star than she ever was. So they want to, you got people like Hugo Weaving who want to like talk junk and just be like, oh man, I don't appreciate being Megatron's voice. It's like, all right, well, take your $40 million paycheck and shut the hell up.
Exactly.
And then you got people like Olsen who appreciate it, and she realized, like, my career really took off, and she'll be making money for the rest of her life, at cons, signing photographs and taking photos, and in an industry where your name is your paycheck. What more can you ask for? So she seemed very grateful, and it was an interesting story.
Yeah, definitely. She definitely seems like, she loves playing the character too, which is always important.
Which is interesting because like you love it, and then they killed you.
Yeah. And you could kind of get, I mean, obviously we're not listening to her speak, but you can kind of get a sense of things. Like, she's kind of like, I hope she comes back. Like, you get a sense like she really wants to continue playing her. So it'll be cool. If you would have told me growing up that the Olsen twins would not be popular, but their sister would be a far more accomplished actress than them, I would have like.
I didn't realize they were all sisters until I met you.
Huh?
Yeah, I had no idea. I don't pay attention to that stuff.
They look alike.
Yeah, but I never really watched Full House.
Oh,
so,
okay. All right.
I was never like a big Olsen twins fan.
All right.
Like, I knew who they were, but I thought when people were talking about the Olsens, I thought they were just talking about the 2 twins.
Right.
I didn't know they had like an older sister
too. Yeah, there's another sister
4?
too.
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
there's another one, and she's an actress too. I know she's done stuff. I can't think of what she's been in right now, but yeah, there's another one. So
I didn't know that.
Yep.
That's interesting. That's like the Barrymores. I didn't know the Barrymores were like a Hollywood family institution until like years ago. I was like, oh, wow, really? I thought it was just Drew.
Even the Culkins, right? We have Macaulay and
I have no
Kieran.
idea about that.
Oh, okay.
Coppola's are another one. That's a big Hollywood family.
Well, the Skarsgårds. You should know them.
I know the Holzmans.
Well, we're not a Hollywood family.
No, you're a Long Island family.
We're a big family, yes.
You're a big Long Island family, the Holzmans.
We're not a Hollywood. Well, yeah. Well, anyway.
You're like, it's like if everybody loves Raymond was German, it'd be Everyone Loves Eric.
I don't know if it'd be Everyone Loves Eric.
Everyone loves Eric.
My sisters would probably fight for that title. Everybody loves one of their names. So whoever it would be. But all right, so we have a little bit of bad news to report on the Marvel front. Well, depending on how you feel, the director of Blade, Bassam Tariq, is leaving the project. He will not be continuing. I honestly can't get that upset. I don't really know anything the guy has done. So it's hard for me to get upset about it. To me, as long as Mahershala Ali is still there, I'm in. I love the character to begin with, so it'd be cool to see this take on him. But he did thank Marvel and said it's been an honor working with the wonderful folks at Marvel. We were able to put together a killer cast and crew, eager to see where the next director takes the film. They said it's on schedules and production, kind of the same stuff we always hear when someone leaves a project. He's still going to be an executive producer because obviously he did a lot in the creation of where they were going with the film. So I don't know. Like I said, I gave my opinion. I don't know really enough about him to be upset that he's leaving. But anytime I hear something like this, it makes you wonder why. Like, what's the real reason behind him leaving? So that's the only thing I kind of want to find out.
Right. Yeah.
So
crickets. Nothing. Nothing from the peanut gallery.
Yeah,
no
nothing.
Complaints. No tweets of anger. No dysfunctional studio antics. Nothing. Nothing from the peanut gallery on this. Fantastic Four was nothing when they lost its director. Blade, nothing. Where are you, complaint department? I don't hear you. You're awfully silent out there. The MCU loses the director and it's crickets. If this was Warner Brothers, it'd be hell to pay. You'd be charging Burbank like Hurricane Irene.
I think, well, you mean Ian?
Ian, whatever the hell its name is.
Wow.
Wasn't there a Hurricane Irene?
There was a Hurricane Irene.
There you go.
But
come on now.
That might be a little too soon, Pete. Just
I don't care.
Anyway, yeah, so you're right.
Nothing out of you guys. Not
a
word.
There've been a couple people who were like, "Oh, I'm bummed." But again, I think it's the reason, like I said, I don't know anything he's done. So how could I be upset about losing a director that I have no clue what kind of work he's produced? You know, it's hard to get mad over something like that. And yes, you can bring that up, but they have all the benefits of the doubt in the world. The studio does. So no one's going to question things. They're automatically going to say it's probably for the best of the film, whatever the case may be. And it might not be. I have no idea.
I don't either. It's just funny. It's like, nobody knows anything, but everyone's got something to say.
So it's still coming out, though, guys. We're still getting Blade. Just have to attach a new director. I don't know who I would like to take over. But yeah, a horror guy would be cool to do Blade, right? So maybe go that direction.
I have no idea. I don't know why this guy left. Like, it's like, are the rumors true that like it's the script isn't good and that there's no good action and Ali is pissed? Like, that's I believe it was Jeff Snyder who tweeted that out. Like, he didn't leave; he left because it wasn't like a good work environment. Like, no one was really happy, and like they weren't really kind of proud of what they were making. So it's like, oh geez, that sounds dreadful. It sounds like a dud. So we'll see what happens. Maybe someone with maybe this guy just wasn't the right fit, and they, or whatever. But it's just okay. I don't know.
No, I agree with you.
I feel like this project's been pushed back. We don't know anything, and it's like it's kind of seems like this project's had after the casting announcement of Ali, just had one issue after another, and no one seems to care. But it just seems to be a kind of a troubled production.
Yeah, I mean that's fair. And if they couldn't agree on a way to go with it either, then that's the right decision to make. You're not going to get rid of the star, an Oscar-winning actor. I mean, Mahershala Ali is they're not going to remove him first. They're going to remove other parts of it first.
But if he's not happy, maybe he leaves. Which kind of would be cool, because I'd love to see what the peanut gallery would do then.
but that's probably why the director left or got asked. It's
got to be one or the other,
right? Yeah, that's probably why something like that happened. So
you don't fire the players, you fire the manager.
Yeah, pretty much. It's much easier to do that. I mean, Delroy Lindo's was cast in this as well. So he's another known actor. He was in the 5. I forget one of Chadwick Boseman's last films, Spike Lee, the 5 something. I forget, but he was in that. He got critical acclaim for that. So, these are names. You pull them from something. It's a much bigger deal than pulling a director, like I said, that nobody knows.
Nobody knows the trouble I've seen.
2 weeks in a row, we're getting
nobody knows my sorrow.
She's a bass. Yeah, you didn't catch that? Okay.
Yeah. Look at that.
You didn't catch
Take that, American Idol.
what movie that's from? I just
I
said.
don't even know what you said.
I said she's a base.
No, what movie is that? You're killing me with the references.
Spaceballs. Spaceballs. Spaceballs.
You could understand why while I think that movie's funny, why I don't watch it as much as you probably do.
Well,
although I think Pizza the Hut was very clever.
Pizza the Hut was very...
That's very clever.
Yes.
Dark Helmet. I like Dark Helmet.
But speaking
it might
of
be
balls,
better than actual Star Wars.
Hold on. Speaking of balls, we know that Smooth Sack Summer has ended. And if you haven't been scaping for the summer sun, it's not too late to sweep your sack of those pesky pubes. As summer has come to an end and we enter fall, keep your boys clean and fresh just in time for Fresh Ball Fall. The leader in below the waist grooming is here to make sure your pubes feel smoother than a beach ball and smell fresher than your girl's pumpkin spice. Really hate that line. Start the new season the right way and join over 6 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped with its exclusive offer for you, 20% off and free worldwide shipping with the code Gotham at manscaped.com. So yes, I actually recently did get more products from them. I ordered them myself this time. Because I had to recoup what I didn't have anymore. And once again, I'm so happy I did, because again, this just makes that part of my grooming experience so much easier, better. Having all these beautiful, like we always talk about the scent, their trademark scent is just fantastic. And I've gotten used to it now. So it's kind of part of my daily routine, just putting on the Manscaped body spray and everything else, the deodorant. So all these new things, guys, they're not just about grooming your parts. Now they have other products, other things you can buy.
They are a full body just grooming company. Like, that's it from head to toe.
Yep. And like I've mentioned on the last couple of shows, now they have their shears. So it's a luxury nail grooming kit. Includes a stainless steel nail cutters, tweezers, and grooming scissors. So you have that added to the package as well. Wink, wink, nod, nod. So don't forget too, guys, if you order the top performance package 4.0, you will get the boxers, which Pete and I have told you are fantastic. You get the travel bag as well, which they conveniently call the shed. So all these products go along to make your grooming process a little bit more smoother. A smoother experience.
And here's the deal. Like, look, Halloween's coming up. You guys are going to be layered up. You're going to be wearing heavy costumes. Your balls are going to be sweating. You're going to need stuff to take care of the smell. Because you're going to a Halloween party. What if you're trying to get it in? Right? You can't be stank. Right? You know what I'm saying? No one's going to take you down to the basement unless you're smelling good. That's all I'm saying right now. You can't be wearing latex masks and all these things and everything. You think that Rich Citrone didn't sweat his ass off as Batman, fighting around all those stunts? No, dude. You don't want swamp ass. You don't want nasty balls. You gotta hit the Manscaped up, bro. Come on, let's be serious.
It's true. He speaks the truth. And those boxers are very breathable too. So if you have those on, it'll help the situation, help keep things cool and fresh down there. So, and again, like we talked about the crop preserver, the crop reviver, which is that nice little spritz toner. So even if you are and you're having a bad situation, you just kind of sneak away in the bathroom.
Put that in your trick-or-treat bag, just in case. A little spritz before you get in.
Yep. Take care of business down there.
That's what I'm saying.
So definitely a good buy. And we're here to help you out with that. So don't forget, you get 20% off and free shipping with the code Gotham at manscaped.com. That's 20% off and free shipping with the code Gotham at manscaped.com. Keep things smooth and fresh as we say sayonara to smooth ball summer and enter fresh ball fall.
What are you going to be for Halloween?
I haven't even thought about it.
I think I want to be Eric Holzman.
No, you don't. That's a depressing character, trust me. Don't want to be Eric
Holzman. I didn't say I wanted to be Eeyore.
I'm saying, though, I know this character very well, and it's not something...
If you were to cast Eric Holzman in a movie, who would be you?
Oh, I don't know.
Who would be Eric Holzman?
That's a tough one. I don't know.
John Cena?
Oh, yeah, okay. Not John Cena.
Stallone in like the 80s?
No. I can't think of anyone. I honestly cannot think of an actor who I'd want to play me. That would be like a good fit. I can't. What about you? Who would play you?
Who could play me? Uh Probably some backup in The Sopranos. Some guy like dark-haired man number 3 ordering a turkey sandwich.
An extra?
Yeah. Goomba and leather jacket while Paulie gets his ass kicked. I don't know, like one of those. I'm trying to think. Maybe, I don't know, Josh Gad.
You know what? It's not bad.
It's not. It's horrible to say about yourself, but Josh Gad.
I mean, no, he's a really good actor. So, I mean, you know, maybe you don't like how he looks to be.
Yeah, physically, it's like embarrassing. Like, oh shit.
But acting prowess wise, you could do a lot worse.
Yeah, I'm trying to think.
So a talented guy.
I don't know.
I don't know either. I can't. That's. I mean.
Wow. I'm trying to think. I don't think like, I don't know who looks like me.
Mine would have to be someone from like Game of Thrones or someone who kind of looks like a Viking.
That's funny.
Because of my goatee and my blonde hair. And
yeah.
It would have to be someone like that. I mean, everyone like Charlie Hunnam he's not a good actor, but and I'm a little heavier than him, but that
everyone's like, he should be the Green Arrow in the DCEU.
Yeah.
Because he can grow a goatee.
Yeah. Like, I'm trying to think. I can't even think of any. I don't know. Like, I'd want like Brad Pitt to play me or something like that. But
Brad Pitt.
But, you know, that's not.
Eric, who do you think could play you? Oh, you know, somebody like The Rock, I was thinking about maybe.
I'd want someone like that to
Joe
play me.
Manganiello.
But
Jason Momoa.
Hey, I'm, you know, if he ever leaves Aquaman.
Yeah, we've got Eric.
I'm next. I'm next right there.
That's true. You could play you could play King Atlas. Atlantis, whatever his name is.
Yeah. I could
Atlas. Atlas was a god. You could be a god. You can be Wonder Woman.
I need to really get like all the workout programs I can.
Have you seen Zeus and Love and Thunder?
That's a good point. That's a very good point. That is a very good point.
Eating good. All those grapes.
Yeah, man. Russell Crowe has enjoyed his time off. I'll say that.
I think he had to have been in a fat suit.
Yeah, I don't think he's that big. I know he's bigger, but I don't think he's that heavy.
I mean, look what they did with Ferrell.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. All right, so we're talking about Halloween. So we're talking about it being Halloween season. It's October 1st. Marvel has done a production called Werewolf by Night, which we got a little teaser trailer from recently. And Michael Giacchino, however you say his name, as we know, as a famous composer, he composed the Batman. He's done many other different movies. He actually directed Werewolf by Night, and he talks about the production of it. And it's a TV-14 rating. He talked about how they were surprised at that because apparently it's pretty bloody. And he thought it would be more of a TVMA, and how the black and white of nature of it might have kept the rating lower. So that was one of the cool things to find out.
Guess kids don't watch black and white television.
I know, but still, it's, you know,
they didn't grow up on Dick Van Dyke and I Love Lucy, huh?
Blood obviously doesn't come out as well in black and white. It doesn't color.
Like, what is that? That's chocolate syrup,
right? You know. So he also talks about how people were surprised to hear that he's directing, but which I didn't know either. But that was his first love. He talks about
that was the most interesting part, where he says he's actually a director first.
Yeah.
I was like, that's funny because I own multiple CDs. Actually, that's not true. Multiple downloadable files.
It's also cool to hear about like the process, that how he's kind of always been the sounding board for directors that he's worked with. He talks about Matt Reeves specifically and how they know each other so well, and how, you know, he was kind of always the sounding board where Reeves would kind of bounce things off of. So he might have had more development of the Batman than we even knew, besides the music.
Maybe.
So that was cool to hear, and how sometimes it's easier to write a score before he actually sees the film or doesn't know about the film. And the article is very interesting. He's a very interesting character. So yeah, man, what do you think about this? And what do you think about the piece and his description?
I think
of
it's
certain...
cool. I really love that he pushed the boundaries on this, and we're gonna see. Like, this is again like one of those tests. We're gonna see what Marvel is gonna let fly.
Right.
This didn't seem like it was gonna be like a kids thing. This doesn't seem like they're gonna take this half-ass. This looked like it was done pretty seriously. And I think it's Giacchino. I think it might be. Reno will correct me because he knows how to pronounce his name. He does. I always forget. So we'll see what happens. Again, most fascinating thing was he considers himself a director who has actually composes on the side, and I thought that was interesting because I never knew when he first was announced as director. I was like, this is okay, but it's not like they gave him like, I don't know, Iron Man 4. So
True.
he, as a creative, I'm sure you're thankful for the opportunity, and this is a big step for him, and to really flex those muscles and show him what he's got. So I hope it's good. I want to enjoy it, and maybe he'll become the first. I don't know. Has anyone other than like John Carpenter done their own music for their own movie? I know Carpenter does. He composes music. I have a couple albums of his.
Maybe Rob Zombie.
Yeah, I'm trying to think.
Sense,
I don't know
right?
else I don't know who else would do it.
Yeah,
so
I don't know.
Which is interesting considering it's kind of all Halloween themed.
Yeah.
But yeah, like again, fascinating stuff. Really, really interesting. I had no idea this guy was a director.
Me neither. That was like the biggest pull from the article. The article is fantastic, and he explains this process. He explains how he's been making movies since he's 9 years old. He explains how this is officially not a short because he's done some shorts before, but he says it has to be over 40 minutes to not be considered a short, which I didn't know that either. So
DGA rules probably or something like that.
Right. So yeah, there's a little bit of little tidbits in here about a lot of different things, but you're right. That was probably the biggest pull because he's so good composing scores. To find out that that's not even what he loved to do first, you kind of make yourself feel like, okay, my life sucks and I'm not doing anything important if I can't even do the one thing I love as well as he does the second thing he loves so well. So it's a really, really cool article, guys. Check it out, THR, and of course you can find the links to it on all of our social media. Another thing tied into this was Kevin Feige spoke about Werewolf by Night and how it's important to the future of the MCU. Now, I can't see how. I don't know if it's connected in a way like character-wise that he's talking about, or it's just that because he says we're introducing a world that will ultimately become quite important to the future of the MCU. Are they going to do more of this and interweave it in things like maybe Wanda,
a whole black and white series? I don't know.
Right? We know that they're doing the Agatha Harkness story.
Maybe that'll be black and white.
Right.
I don't know.
So like spin it into there. Who knows? I don't know, but
I thought that was interesting. Like, how can 40 minutes be so intricate to this 20? It's not 20, whatever, this 15-year franchise or whatever it is.
Yeah. It'll be 15 soon. So yeah. So you're right.
I'm fascinated to see what happens. I want to see I don't know. Is it a program? Is it a film? I don't even know what to call this thing. But no, we'll see. It's apparently a big deal.
Yeah, it really is a big deal.
Or he's just selling it. One or the other.
Well, we'll find out on the 7th. That's when it's released on Disney Plus. So check it out then, guys, and let us know what you think. But definitely read the article, especially about him. Like, that's a really cool piece. And this universe that they're introducing is going to be around for a while if you listen to Kevin Feige. So
the Wolfbane blooms.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see.
So Pete brought up before Sam Wilson, as we know, we're getting Captain America New World Order, Captain America 4, New World Order coming out soon. And Anthony Mackie finally spoke about the differences between him and Steve Rogers, as we know a lot of it. So this is one of his quotes. He says, "What you have to realize about Sam is he's a superhero who is not really a superhero. There's no secret serum. There's no this or that. I just have wings on my suit that I got from the military. So everything that I do, he does as a common man." So interesting quote. What did you think?
I love this. This is why I love Sam Wilson. He's just a guy, you know. He's just a guy, and he's got a really great suit. I can't wait to see what he's up to, because this is like, I think this can lean really James Bondian for Marvel. Like, I think you can do like a really good kind of like espionage spy type movie with Sam.
Right.
And I'm excited to see just the direction. And, you know, we got a little taste of it in Falcon and Winter Soldier. You know, Sam and what's his name? The guy's gonna become Falcon. What's his name? I can't remember his name right now. But we're gonna see what they're up to, and you kind of see like the military operation they run, and it's not really spy oriented, but you know, it's kind of got that, like, you know, vibe to it, the military thing. So like, it's cool. It's good enough for me. I dig it. I can't wait to see where they go. But I hope he's like doing some really cool stuff. I really do. I just can't wait to see Sam in action in the sky. That's like, you know, that's just fun for me.
Yeah, he's one of the. I agree. He's one of the cooler characters in the MCU for all the reasons you stated. Like, and he stated he's not a superhero, like not a super serum guy. He doesn't have anything special about him.
He's Batman,
right? He's basically Batman, and yeah, he has this cool flight suit and, you know, Redbird and all that other stuff. It's very cool.
He's Batman Beyond, actually, because he can fly.
Yeah, that's a good point. So. Yeah, and like you mentioned, we're gonna Danny Ramirez plays the character who's going to take over as Falcon, so it's gonna be cool to see that as well in that movie. But yeah, I think more these characters. One of the big reasons why people love Batman so much is because he could be anybody, right? Like, if you have the money, obviously you need to be a billionaire, but he's just a normal guy. And that's another thing that he's kind of getting across here as well, as a normal guy. I know you don't love Tony Stark, but it's kind of the same thing. He's just a guy who built the suit. And, you know, those are the characters that I think people relate to more because they're just normal people.
I like Rick Shue more than I like Tony Stark.
Wow, that's rough for Tony. No, I'm kidding. But we'll see what happens. Captain America New World Order comes out in 2024, right? Yes. May 3rd, 2024 is the scheduled release date. So I'm assuming production's going to be kicking off soon, and we'll be getting a little bit more about the character and the production little by little, and whatever we hear, we will send off to you guys, because that's what we do here. Sadly, we don't have any Madam Web news this week. Sadly.
No, things have been quiet on the web front.
Yes.
Which is good. It means everyone's hard at work and having fun.
Exactly. But we did get news from one of the characters in Black Adam. One of the actors, Pierce Brosnan, as we know, plays Dr. Fate. Again, the character I'm really looking forward to seeing. And he was interviewed by, Slash Film, right? Yes, so it was a Slash Film interview. Oh, no, sorry, GQ. My fault. We read it from Slash Film, but it's a GQ magazine article. And he talked about playing Dr. Fate, and he said it's a massive character. It's never been portrayed on film before. It's 40 years old in the making. And he kind of explains how it's not that dissimilar from playing James Bond. And I'll continue with more of his quotes. He says, Dr. Fate has the helmet of Naboo, which is a curse and a blessing because he is shackled to the power of the helmet. It's an addiction. It's a curse. It all sounds a lot of frou-frou when you talk about it like that, but it's stuff that you have to lend your heart to.
Is that an English word?
It might be. You mean like a English word from England?
Yeah.
It might be their vernacular. Yeah.
Okay.
He says, if you go into the mythology of it, whether it be Dr. Fate or James Bond, you know, that's what's. And then he continued to say, I'm not very good at articulating the inner dialogue that one has. Otherwise, people think you're crazy. But if it's really well written, you follow the score, you bring your own life into it. You bring your own heart, your own feelings, your own emotions. Yeah, just big characters, big heroic characters. So we got a little bit of words from our friend Pierce Brosnan about what it's like to be Dr. Fate in the Black Adam film. He doesn't really give us much about the plot,
but he basically tells us he's never watched Smallville. So that is good for me. I like what he says. It's cool. Like he compares it to Bond. He just, you know, it seems like he's enjoying it. He's taking the role seriously. He seems like he's having fun with it. And he wants to leave his kind of like stamp on it. And you know, the elder statesman. I think it was great casting, and he looks really good with that mustache.
The goatee.
Yeah, he looks really good. Like I never would have guessed him for like a facial hair guy because like I've always seen him in clean cut. But yeah, no, just I like what I heard. I can't wait for the movie. I'm excited. I know I didn't buy my advance tickets yet, but
neither have I. So, but it seems like Pete has a little man crush, guys. There's a little man crush on Pierce Brosnan. Talking about the facial hair, saying he looks real good. It's cool.
Well, I can appreciate a good beard.
That's true. You know? You have a pretty good one yourself, so I can
appreciate it.
Yeah,
I mean, what's that? I mean, Brosnan he's the James Bond of my era too. You know, like,
that's true. Yes,
growing up, like GoldenEye was huge when I was growing up. Between the movie and the game,
yeah, the game was cool.
I don't think the other movies really reached that level, but like when his first Bond movie was huge.
Yeah. Yeah, I never loved him as Bond at the time, but I've gone back and watched some of the films, and they weren't as bad as I remember them being. So, we'll see going forward. But
the end, the one he did with Halle Berry, I think, was pretty bad.
Yeah, that one wasn't so good.
I don't remember what it is. And is it the same one with? Isn't Denise Richards in one? Or are they in the same one?
She is.
I think aren't those two the worst? Like he did 4, right? He did 2. He did GoldenEye, which was great. Then he did 1, which was okay. He did 2, which were bad. Isn't that kind of how it went?
I believe he did 4. Yes.
I always wanted more Timothy Dalton. Bond.
I can't believe he's almost going to be 70 years old. He looks fantastic. Like that's the thing. Yeah. Like what the hell, man?
It's all that tea, bro. That's why Tom McClellan's going to live forever. He drinks all that tea.
Oh God, that's funny. So yes, he did. He was 007 from 1995 to 2004. He did GoldenEye, Tomorrow Never Dies, The World Is Not Enough, and Die Another Day. Those are the 4 movies he did. I believe Die Another Day is the one you're talking about.
With Denise?
I believe that's the one with Halle Berry. So yeah, I believe I remember that one. I agree, not being so great.
Do you think that the videos on Denise Richards' OnlyFans are better than her performance in the Bond movie?
Oh God, probably. That's terrible for me to say. Sorry, but yeah, probably. It's funny you bring her up because this morning when I woke up, Wild Things was on, and I had it on. And
that movie belongs on OnlyFans.
So yeah, I was like, oh wow, look, another Denise Richards reference in the same day. But crazy. Yeah, that was.
I love Wild Things, by the way.
Yeah, it seems
that movie's crazy, and it's got Bill Murray in it, which makes no sense.
Oh yeah, he's fantastic. Matt Dillon can't act; he never could act. I don't know why.
He's perfect in this.
But he is
a great creep stash.
He is. Kevin Bacon.
I always liked his house in that movie, by the way.
Yeah, he had a cool house.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. And as a guidance counselor, you're like, how could he afford this house? But yeah, he did have a cool house. So that movie.
Wild Things was nuts, man.
It was. You
ever see Wild Things 2?
No, I only saw the first one.
Horrible. Wild Things is horrible. Don't watch it.
Well, the first one it's not a great movie.
No, it's not, but it's just like you got Denise Richards and Neve Campbell hooking up. Like, what else do you need? In the 90s, it's like that's great.
Well, yeah, this was the height of her like Scream when she was doing Scream, the Scream movies, and right after Party of 5 and all that other
Queen Neve.
So yeah, she was, and she's really good in it. Like she's very good.
I love her haircut in that movie.
So yeah, excellent. I mean,
vintage Neve. I love her.
She plays a character, like it's a layered character, and then you find out at the end that she's the mastermind of the whole thing. It's just fantastic.
Oh, it's great.
It's fantastic.
It's great.
So
the movie makes you think, like, who can I kill and get away with it?
Does it? It doesn't make me think that. No.
It's like, how can I do this? How many lives can I ruin and then walk away with a suitcase full of money?
Yep, on a nice boat.
Yeah.
Yep. Oh, it's got so many tropes in it. Like it's so many.
It's so absurd, but it's just like,
yeah, it is. What?
Like, oh, dude, Steph Campbell and Denise Richards.
I know.
Yeah, right. Buddies over, guys. We got Wild Things. We got Wild Things, guys.
Yep.
We're just playing Madden, Mom. We're just playing Madden.
Well, I was a little older, so I did have to use excuses. I could actually go see the movie. I did. I actually saw it in the theater.
Was
I did
it
remember going
99?
to see it. I thought it was 2000, but it's in that range.
Like I was in 8th grade.
Oh, it's 98.
98, I was in 7th grade.
I just graduated college.
Yeah. The
So.
big days. We had big, yeah. We played Madden that night.
We played Madden.
We played Madden that night.
Awesome. Well, let's move on. We have another DC story to talk about. Blue Beetle. This is one of the movies that a lot of people were kind of worried when Batgirl got acted like, oh, this one can't be too far behind. But no, that is not the case. So the director, Angel Manuel Soto, spoke to NPR, and he said that he's not going to lie. There was a concern, anger, and fear at first after what happened to Batgirl, but they told me not to worry. The film has their full support. So at least right now, guys.
Yeah, like I don't know anybody who's really trusting Zaslav right now. Like you got our support today.
Yeah.
Who knows what tomorrow's board meeting brings?
Right. I mean, I remember the Flash was another thing, like, oh, they're going to cancel the film because at the time everything about Ezra Miller. But yeah, that's not, obviously we know that's not happening. So, but in the same interview, Zolo Maraduena, who plays Jaime Reyes, who also plays Miguel on Cobra Kai, he spoke about it as well, spoke about what Blue Beetle is. And he says it's kind of like a fusion of Green Lantern and Iron Man. He has a scarab from outer space that is attached to his body called Kaji Da. So if you guys aren't familiar with Blue Beetle, there's a little tidbit about who he is and who he might be like. So which kind of helped me because I didn't, like I said, we talked about this before. I had no idea who he was. So
yeah, I'm not the biggest like Blue Beetle fan. I mean, I know Jaime very.
Right.
I don't know. I know the bare minimum. I guess at this point, just like if anything, I probably know more of it from Injustice than anything else.
That's where I know it from mostly. Yeah.
But I don't really know too much about Ted Kord either. You know, like I'm not just Blue Beetle in general.
Right.
But look, I mean, the Batgirl thing sent shockwaves throughout Hollywood, and you know, people are still kind of concerned. You just read the room, like, you know, no one's really happy with Zaslav from a creative standpoint, and I'm sure creatives currently working for him, and then people who would consider are questioning it as well. So, you know, I can't defend everything the guy does, and everyone calls me a WB shill, so. It is what it is. I get what he's saying. I hope it makes it. If it does, great. If it doesn't, so be it. I got other things to worry about. But I really hope to see this movie. We'll see. You know, as far as I know, all things are a go. So
yeah, I mean that's we can only go by what we're told, and this is what we're being told. We also have news from Zaslav himself saying all the rumors about them trying to sell are false. He's not looking to flip WB,
which
Discovery.
Is like, oh god, because you're like, can someone just like stick with it for a change and just write? Can we just do your job? Like, no, this isn't working. We've got to bail. Well, freaking make it work.
Yeah, I mean,
you know what you're getting into. Do what you wanted to do. Like, let's see what. Like, come on.
Like, say what people often
money where your mouth.
Yep, and people often kind of pick on Disney for a lot of different things. But I'll tell you one thing. I know as a Star Wars fan that with Disney at the helm, it's not going anywhere. Like, they're going to be with Disney because Disney is just this massive company and they're not going to get rid of an IP like Star Wars. Same thing with Marvel. Marvel's not going anywhere. So if you guys like those two IPs, you should be happy that they're under a house like Disney.
I mean, to an extent, I don't think DC's going anywhere either. They haven't stopped making things. Batgirl, you know, seems to be the one exception, but it's not like, you know, whether it's rebooting or what, or, you know, they just keep, you know, they're not exactly, was it Paramount and Transformers, but they are kind of chugging along here.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, like you said, in the back of your mind, you know, just stick with them for a while, right? Like, let's see what we can do.
Yeah, you bought it because you thought you could fix it. Well, give it, like, come on, like, actually try to fix it. If you're trying to sell, like, stop. You know, like, man, you're not doing anybody any favors.
You're right. You're not.
You're just wasting everyone's time at that point, and you're wasting money.
Right, because they keep talking. What
And now
he's
it's your
saying,
own money.
yeah, and what he's saying on the front is like, oh, we want to rebuild the relationship with the directors and creators, make this the studio that it's always been.
Then
But
put
if
shit
they're
out.
right, but if there's rumors at the time that you're not even going to have the company for a while, and there's these rumors of you selling, how are they going to feel confident that what you're saying is going to hold up if you're just going to flip it to someone else
Yeah.
and you have to restart the whole
Like,
process?
what am I going to work for this guy for? He's going to hire me and then he's going to be gone in 2 years?
Yeah. So I agree with you. I totally wish.
I think this happens a lot, kind of in like college football. Like a coach will like recruit a class and then he'll go for a better job.
That
And
happens.
it's like, I came to play for this asshole. Where is he?
It's true. It happens in college sports all the time.
Yeah.
All the time. Yep. And the rules are different. Like the players, the students have to honor their thing and they have to wait a year,
Mhm.
but the coach can leave at any time if they want to. So if the coach leaves, they can't leave with him right away. It's a screwed up system, but you're right. It's very similar to that, in this kind of world. I kind of hope, and I'm saying this, if they do sell anything, now that they built a DC Films division, just sell that off to someone who wants it, and that's it. Let DC go somewhere like Star Wars went, like Marvel went, to a place that this is what we do. We're going to
think that
shepherd you.
place would be Warner Brothers.
But it's not, apparently.
It's
They
so
can't figure.
strange.
I mean, outside of Batman, what other things have been consistently good for them in DC? And now you could say, even like I could say Wonder Woman, but the second film, I like it, but it wasn't that great. It wasn't received that great. So
No,
I mean, what?
I don't know. Like, yeah,
They can't figure out Superman. There's so many things that.
but I don't think it's the character as much as it is the creative person behind the character.
I agree with you, but that's what I mean. In this current state where they are with Warner Brothers, it's been this cycle now over and over and over. That's what I'm saying. So if they were going to sell off anything, my hope it would be DC to a place where maybe it's Comcast Universal. If they could do something with it, go ahead. Like, that's how I look at it.
It's just strange to me how like they already have a studio.
I know. I agree with you.
It just makes sense. That's probably why he came out and said, I'm not selling anything, because it just makes no sense.
It doesn't make sense. Why would you want to sell off Warner Brothers? I don't understand how Warner Brothers keeps getting sold off. It's the most iconic studio we have, and it keeps getting sold.
It's weird.
It doesn't make any sense. It makes no sense. So I don't know where we're going.
Other than the fact that maybe that's why it keeps getting sold, because it is the most iconic.
Yeah, but why wouldn't you want to keep that? You would think you would want that under your
That's
umbrella.
why it gets sold, because it's the only thing of value.
That's true. And they have, like, it's not just Batman. They have
they
Harry
own
Potter,
the DC library. They own the whole DC library. They own Harry Potter. They all, maybe that's why. Like, it's not because they keep failing, but because even when they don't make, and let's be honest, like, Warner Brothers does other things.
Yeah.
Marvel does Marvel. Star Wars does Star Wars.
Right. Well,
but like Warner Brothers until recently did a lot of things, and then they would throw in a superhero movie.
Right. And Warner Brothers is Disney, right? Like, Disney is the studio.
Yeah.
All the other things underneath it are part of Disney. Warner Brothers
two different companies who run two different ways.
Right. Right. Warner Brothers is the parent for now all these other things that they're going to be having underneath them, which that part of Zaslav's plan, I'm very excited that they're giving DC its own films division. I can see them doing something similar with maybe Lord of the Rings and Harry Potter.
But to be honest, like, I think, like, and I do think the cancellation of Batgirl was part of his like plan. Like, I think he has an idea of what he's doing. That's why when they say he's gonna sell and flip, I was like, oh, this just sounds like AT&T all over again. They're like, oh, we can't make as much money on HBO Max as we thought. Let's sell everything. Like, AT&T cut and dry. Like, they cut bait. They're like, this isn't working. We're selling.
It was a bad decision. No,
I get it. I'm saying, but it's just like to go through that again within a decade, twice. That's basically you've basically spent the last 10 years trying to figure out what to do, because every 5 years it changes. It's just, that's why, and I think that's kind of what's hindered them, is just the change from up top. It's like, they're trying to figure out up top what they're doing, and it's that trickle down effect where it affects everything underneath.
I mean, definitely. That's 100%. There's no stability.
It starts at the executive level.
And that's why projects get pushed back and why projects get canceled.
Mel Gibson talked in the last show. We mentioned it. Like Mel Gibson's like it's they're figuring things out from the top. Like that's what's pushing everything back. So it's not just we did that because again it wasn't just DC. It's like Lethal Weapon 5 apparently has been pushed back because of whatever Zaslav is doing. So like it's everything. It's everything that goes down in Warner Brothers.
I mean, we could literally discuss this for hours and hours because it's such a intriguing yet sad story in so many ways. But
you also voted that Eric should not be the leader of DC Films.
See, guys, you wouldn't have to worry about this stuff if I was the head of DC.
We'd be worried about everything.
You wouldn't.
Holzman and Kowalski would have Batman on the moon. Fighting aliens like it was 1950.
No, we wouldn't.
With like fishbowl helmets.
We would not. No. I wouldn't do such
Justin
things.
wants action figure Batman. That's what Justin wants.
I think that could work. I do. I think that could work.
We'll see. Battling dinosaurs.
He's
Justin wants Batman and dinosaurs.
If he's such a malleable character, then why can't you do different? Why does it upset people when they do different things with it? I don't get that.
It's because you like it or you don't.
No, I understand that. But like you say all the time, if you don't like this version, you have plenty of stuff that you do like that you can go back to and watch.
Yeah,
right?
I do it all the time.
So that's what I mean. So
I just, I don't want something I don't like to be made.
It's so weird how people feel about certain characters and then other characters they don't give a crap. I feel like Batman and Superman have to be treated a certain way.
Captain Atom,
right?
No one cares. They want.
But I do, you know what I think that's going to happen with now, though? I think that's going to happen with Aquaman going forward. I don't think people are going to be able to take another take of Aquaman outside of the Momoa one that we've gotten.
To be honest, if we get that far, I'd love to see it.
I'd see it again.
I think it'd be amazing if we can get that. The fact that we've gotten Aquaman to begin with, and he's getting a sequel. Like I don't care that it's delayed. Like if you want to complain about that, then
fantastic.
Bark up a tree. But we're still getting 2 Aquaman movies. Like that's pretty remarkable considering.
When
I grew up with him being embarrassed on Robot Chicken for 15 years.
Dude, when they told me that was my nickname, I was embarrassed. So
Aquaman.
That was something I was like,
what? Man.
Like you couldn't pick some other hero.
17-time swimming champion, Aquaman, Holzman.
Apparently,
Long Island's finest fish, Aquaman, Holzman.
Apparently, the end of our show each week now, guys, is Pete doing a solo riff on something.
I'm just singing about my co-host, Eric Holzman, all that is man, Aquaman in the ocean.
Why are you doing it with like Bill's accent?
Bill Ramey does not sound like that. Bill Ramey's like, I don't know, no Justice League. No more Batfleck. Pew, 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 pew. Gumbo.
Oh, God. Okay.
Where's Romo?
Yo, I could go for some of that gumbo. I'm not going to lie.
Gumbo and Romo. That was Bill's Sundays for years, Gumbo and Romo.
That gumbo. Yo, that should be like a comic.
Gumbo and Romo. Tony Romo and his sidekick Gumbo. It'd be like Bill and Romo going around doing his Monday night broadcast, whatever it is, and Bill just makes him a special pot of gumbo before every show.
every issue.
Yeah, every issue is just Bill going to different cities and struggling to find, Tex-Mex
ingredients
for gumbo. Yeah,
Bill, if you're listening, we got an idea. See, we're brainstorming here. Got an idea for you.
That would be. Can you imagine? Imagine if Bill had his own brand of canned gumbo. Can you imagine Bill's face? Imagine Bill on the cover, the face of the can, he's like Chef Boyardee. With his Batman apron.
If he hears this, he's gonna come for you, man.
I think it's funny.
It's hysterical, but
I would love to see.
I think he'd be insulted actually to have canned gumbo. I don't think he'd go for. No,
it'd be like his brand of whatever canned jar,
frozen in the bag.
It'd be like his brand,
No, I know what you're saying. I just think, I don't think he'd want it in a can. It'd probably have to be frozen in the bag. You have to eat it within
It comes with dry ice and a cowboy spatula. That's what it comes with. Everyone gets a free cowboy spatula.
Oh boy.
For every gallon of gumbo you buy, you get a free cowboy spatula.
We've got off the rails again.
Jumbo by the gallon. Aquaman, holds
Good.
man, swimming around like fish and shit. Aquaman, holds
Fishing.
man, going around the ocean, bitch. Aquaman.
All right. We've come to the end of the show. I'm calling it. And
Arrow.
scene. And scene. Let's go.
Arrow.
Scene.
Aquaman, holds man, swimming around the
All
ocean.
right, Pete.
Shit.
Tell them how they can find you. If you want to sing it like you just were singing it, go ahead. I'd love to hear this.
You can find me social media at Pete Illustrating Shit. Twitter, Instagram, Zack Snyder's favorite bureau. You can find me on social media. That's Twitter, Instagram, and Zack Snyder's favorite platform bureau at Pete Illustrated. You go just follow this podcast. Listen to right now. Straight to Gotham at straight_O_G on both Instagram and Twitter. You could join our Facebook group. You can follow our Facebook fan page. Have fun doing both of that. You can follow at Team Yellow Oval. That's fun on Twitter for me. Follow my other podcast that I co-host with Nicholas and Nico Caruso, the Italian Spider-Man Coalition podcast. At Italians for Spidey. I'm all over BatmanOnFilm.com, all over Batman on Film YouTube. I'm all over everywhere. So let's talk about Hose Man, Aquaman. Take it over, champ.
He's not schizophrenic, people. I'm
No, Eric really is Aquaman. It's not just me believing that, like, he really is Aquaman.
Pete is not schizophrenic. You saw how he went from singer to just normal calm voice back to singer. He's this maybe multiple personalities. I don't know.
Traditional conversationalist, I prefer.
We'll see. But yes, you guys know you can find me on Twitter at Finally33, spell Finale33. You guys, Pete went through this as well. We have our Facebook group, our Facebook page, our Twitter handle at straight_O_G. We both monitor that, so if you guys want to hit us up there, you always can. Always a good time. I did ask a question yesterday about the 3 Catwomen that we've had.
Eric's favorite is Halle Berry.
Which the 3, in the Batman movies that we've had.
Halle Berry for Eric.
You know, Michelle Pfeiffer, Anne Hathaway, and of course Zoe Kravitz. If you guys want to go over there and if you haven't answered yet, give us an answer. Pete, I followed up because you didn't really answer the question.
I know I didn't. I left you hanging.
So who's your favorite? Just say it.
Zoe.
Okay. All right. Zoe's a favorite. So, all right. Mine is Anne Hathaway. So there we go. I love all 3 of them, but I like hers the best. So guys, yeah, go there.
Eric.
Go to the group and let us know your choice for those 3. Again, all fantastic, but we all know we have our favorites. So Pete and I just gave you ours. Check out my New York Knicks podcast. We actually just did a live stream this past week. If you want to hit me up on Twitter for that, it's all_Nick_up. If you missed the live streaming, go back and watch it we have a YouTube page now, so you can go check it out on YouTube. It was a fun show, couple hours, but in the future there'll probably be less because we'll be doing it more on a weekly basis, so it'll be less to talk about, or more. With this team, you never know. So definitely go and check me out over there. And I am doing an SOG tonight. I've been doing a weekly show discussing Andor.
What's that?
So it's the new Star Wars series.
But what's Andor? Like, what does Andor mean? Is it a planet?
No, it's a character.
Okay.
Cassian Andor. That's his last name. So
is he part of the rebellion or the Republic?
Yes, he's one of the first members of the rebellion.
So this is a prequel show?
Yes.
Okay.
It's a prequel to Rogue One. You saw Rogue One, right?
Yeah,
so,
I just don't know where it falls.
Yeah, so this is before he was in the movie, and this is the character. He was the male lead.
He was in that movie too?
He's the male lead in the movie.
Did he die?
Everyone dies in that movie.
Okay.
So, but yeah, I've been doing a weekly show. I have a revolving guest. This last week, I had Aaron Varola from the Fanboy Garage. First week, I had Steve Helm, who was actually a SOG fan. It was his first time doing anything.
Steve Helm got that thick Texas accent. He talks like this.
He sounds like Steve Austin.
I'm going to risk me up some cattle.
So it was awesome having him on, though. So if anyone is interested, you guys want to be on and you're following the show, hit me up.
Do you have a guest for this?
I'll throw you on
this next week?
I have a guest in mind. So we'll see.
Rick Hugh. You going to get Hugh on?
I want to have him on.
He doesn't watch it. That's a problem.
So we'll see.
He
does. He does watch it.
He's not watching it.
Yeah, he is. We've been getting, trust me, we get text messages right after the show.
Is he really watching it? You sure he's watching it?
He's watching it, yeah.
Right.
He is.
It took him forever to watch the other one.
So, yeah, it took him a while to watch The Mandalorian, which was the best one. So, I don't know. But it took a while to watch.
No, Nico? You don't have Nico?
I wanted to have Nico, but he's, with his move right now, and he was on vacation and stuff. So I told him if he wants to be on the show, just let me know.
He was in Vegas recently. You see?
Yeah,
that?
that's why he couldn't do the first show. Yeah.
He's living it up.
So good for him. He's young. Let him live it up. Go out, enjoy yourself, live
He
life.
must have had like so many shrimps. Like I imagine, like in Vegas, there's just shrimp cocktail everywhere.
Okay, well, is that his favorite? I don't know. Is that something?
I don't know. It's my favorite. I feel like I feel like you're sitting on like a pool. I've never been to Vegas, but I feel like I'm just sitting down by the pool, and people are like, shrimp, sir. I'm like, yes, I love some shrimps.
Pete, I would love to live inside your head for one day. Just one day, just to live inside your brain.
Well, you don't think that's like wouldn't be amazing? Just sitting down by the pool and like someone comes up to you with some shrimp cocktail.
No, it would be, but I don't know how you go to these places. Where did shrimps come from? You just you started talking about shrimps.
I just figured like Vegas was like the land of 1,000 shrimp. Like you just like there's shrimp cocktail everywhere.
It's in a desert. What would make you think shrimp in a desert?
So, like they got a football stadium in the desert now. Like you have anything there now.
Okay.
Do you mean like there's things to eat in Vegas, right?
Yes. I just don't know why.
No one's sitting around eating grilled cactus.
I don't know why you would go to shrimp though. That's a very strange.
What's wrong with shrimp?
I love shrimp, but
apparently not. You don't like shrimp. You complain about eating shrimps in Vegas by the pool.
I'm not complaining.
Just imagine, like sitting there. You got yourself a nice martini. Waitress comes out with some shrimp. You got beautiful women everywhere in bikinis. Like you tell me that's not exciting to you?
I need a fade out option for this show, just so we could end the show with you talking, and then no one hears the actual end of it.
You can do that in post.
I think I will. Maybe this week I'll do that in post.
I just don't know why. Like I didn't know you hated shrimp so much. Shrimp are delicious. Is it the consistency? Sometimes,
I love shrimp.
Sometimes when like Rick, I'll eat the tails. It adds like a nice little crunch. Yeah, that's good. But make sure you chew it up because then when it comes out the other way, it might hurt your little coolie. It could be a little rough. Every once in a while, you ever swallow a sunflower seed? Oh man, that's the worst.
All right, we need to end the show because I don't know what else to do.
It's all because you hate shrimp.
I love shrimp. Anyway,
apparently not because apparently you can't have shrimp in Vegas if you're Eric.
Oh God,
Eric doesn't like shrimp in Vegas is a big no.
That's not what
walks around like it's like the Exorcist.
No, that's not what I said.
The body of Christ compels you.
Oh my God, what are we doing?
Hail Mary, full of grace. The shrimp will stay away from me.
What?
I feel like you hate shrimp, so I figured you had.
I love.
I figured you had an anti-shrimp. Justin's gonna be so mad. I turned the Hail Mary into an anti-shrimp thing.
Why? He's not Catholic.
These things, these religions. Everyone gets them all confused.
All right, we need to
fight over the Holy Land for how many years? Everyone hates each other. It's like it's like the total opposite of the belief.
All right, we're shutting it down.
You're no fun. I hate shrimp. I can't talk about anything serious. It's all about capes and tights with you.
It's not.
It is.
Totally not.
I'm going to hop on. What's it called? Barstool Shoe Politics. I'll get on there. Set this thing straight.
Oh, boy. All right. We're good. We're good.
I'm fine.
We're good. All right, guys. I'm just going to close it out. So for Pete, I'm Eric. You're listening to Straight Outta Gotham. We'll see you next time.
Booyah! Eat shrimp.